your tape, you got worried right away. But how do you try? I mean, obviously you got a veteran offensive line, but those are some serious numbers.
They're big, they're athletic, they are multiple with what they do. We've got our work cut out for us. They're really freaking good. I mean, really good. There's a couple guys that stick out like they look like pro players, and there's a couple other guys that stick out like they look like they're like all conference SEC players, and there's a couple guys that stick out that look like, I mean, it's just they're really freaking good. We need to not get behind the chains, maybe take our chances to throw off schedule, first down. If you get it in the third and extra long, good luck. You know what I mean? So they're freaking good, man. They're really good.
You look at Lagway's numbers; they're not so spectacular. But in his starts, let's see, they lost to Tennessee in overtime. They were beating Georgia before he got injured. They knocked Ole Miss out of the playoffs. They beat LSU. He's a winner, and he makes plays too.
He's super talented. He's got a huge arm. There's not a throw that he can't make. He's a great runner. I've been really impressed with his poise for such a young player. He's made their team different. And you just said the team results they've had with him inserted as the starter, that speaks for itself. So with him at starting quarterback, they've looked like a playoff team. So, I mean, that's what it is. That's what you're getting. Like, we're getting ready to play a team that I think if he had been their starter the whole year, you might be talking about that. And so this is a very challenging group that we're getting ready to play. I mean, look, I watched the tape. I'm like, all right, let's go. Get ready. Buckle up. You want to play big boy football? Here it is. This group's off the charts. Really good.
Anytime you're dealing with a Billy Napier team, you know that the main thing they want to do is run the ball.
Yeah.
One of their guys, Montrell Johnson, is a local, went to De La Salle.
Yep.
When you see him on film, just what do you see?
He's talented. He's physical. He runs hard. They're committed to run the football. They've played the game probably really similarly to us. Like when I watch the tape, it looks a lot like us at times. Looks a lot like Louisiana Lafayette that we played earlier this year at times. They're really good with committing to the run and then taking the play action shots off the run. What makes them unique is they've got a couple good backs. The quarterback runs good, but they want to run the football. They want to mash you a little bit, and they've been able to do it. I mean, they're really good.
What's your relationship like with Billy Napier? Do you have much of one? And
Never worked with Billy. Know him. Ton of respect for him. You know, when I got to Troy, he had just left Louisiana Lafayette, and he had run that league. They had just dominated that league, and I walked in. To be very candid with you, when I took the job at Troy in December of 21, I studied, all right, what did Louisiana Lafayette do to do what they did in this league? And we tried to kind of emulate some of it. I have a ridiculous amount of respect for him. I think he's a phenomenal coach, clearly a great leader. You know, I think they were in high-pressure situations with everybody thinking, you know, this, that, and the third about the status of their team this year. And what they've done the last month, I think, speaks volumes about what type of leader he is, what type of coach he is, what type of man he is. I've got a lot of respect for him. And I've studied, when I became head coach, I studied what they did at Louisiana Lafayette and tried to go, okay, how'd that work? Works pretty good for him. I'm really happy that he's still the head coach there. I thought, you know, this day and age, everybody wants to pull the plug on something just because it's not going good in year 2 or year 3 or whatever. And it's like, I think what he's done is he's really recruited at a high level. He's tried to change maybe just how they play the game. And I think he's got a real good plan. I think he's a program building guy. I have a lot of respect for Billy, a lot.
Patrick Durkin going to be your first kicker in that game, or is that to be determined?
You know, I think he is. You know, the missed kicks had zero to do with him. I hate it because everybody just like I got family that are like, man, what the kicker? And I'm like, did you watch the damn game?
I had to deal with the same.
Yeah, I mean the hold. Yeah. There was no opportunity. The ball wasn't down to kick. Okay, and then the second one was delayed down to kick. I mean, you could be Lou Groza, it doesn't matter if the ball's not there to kick. So yeah, he's going to kick. I mean, he's earned it in practice. He's earned it in games. The two opportunities he missed in the last game had zero to do with the kicker. And now that doesn't mean he's going to make it the rest of them for the history of his career. But those two, I'm not going to bench a guy because we didn't get the operation right. Like that'd be like, you know, the guard missing a block and the quarterback getting sacked and pulling the quarterback because the guard missed the block. It's like, why would you do that? It's the guard's fault, not the quarterback's fault, you know. So I hate it as a kid because it's like a pressure situation and all that and high attention, but it had zero to do with the kick. You know, but I think he'll probably be the first guy. Today's our Thursday practice. We always, on these meetings, talk through the plan to play and the rotation. We won't do the game script at the bowl site like we did here, so we can be a little quicker after the walkthrough day and let the guys go enjoy being in a bowl site. But we'll talk through that today, and then we'll revisit it one time next week down there as a staff about what's the exact plan to play the game rotationally.
With Ty Thompson getting started at quarterback, how have you seen him maybe develop throughout this time, and what do you want to see from him in the bowl?
I think Ty's developed mentally a ton. He's a really smart kid already. Even though he didn't win the job in August, he's invested the time in preparation, watching film, meeting with Coach Craddock like a starter. I mean, I kid around. You walk by the staff room and Ty's in there all the time by himself in our full staff room watching tape on the computer in there. And I kid around, it's his office. The staff room, if we're not staffing it, it's become his office kind of. Very passionate kid about his craft. He's going to play really hard with great energy and emotion. You know, I'm excited about watching him play. I genuinely am excited about watching him play. Hats off to him for the way he's responded to what his role was this year. He's earned my respect just because of how he carries himself as a man. It's got nothing to do between what he's done between the white lines, just who he is as a person, what he is as a human. So I can't wait to watch him get his opportunity. Very excited.
How the players kind of responded to Darian's departure?
Good. We say that to everything that happens around here. Good. Guys, something bad happens, we say good. Something good happens, we say good. The guys, their response has been good. I mean, got no control over it. Not going to worry about it.
Do you have to be careful with how you use them in the game because of your backup quarterback situation or because it's a bowl game? You just not worry about that.
We're play the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the last game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some runs in. Yeah. He will run the normal offense. Okay. So, like, we're going to run the normal offense. He's not, like, you know, when he's coming to the game this year, it's been run, maybe a pass. Yeah. It's probably going to be a handoff, a pass, maybe a run with him, maybe a pass, maybe a handoff. It's going to be a little bit more. Well, he may be running a few more times than we have this year at quarterback. Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit more of what his game is. We're not going to switch to a triple option overnight. We don't have that ability, you know. So he'll carry the ball a few times. He'll hand it off probably more than he carries it. He'll throw it probably more than he carries it, or somewhere about. I mean, some of that's gonna be flow of the game down distance, but like we're gonna play the game somewhat conventionally, but catered to what his throws are gonna look a little different. Maybe that his throw game. He's got a huge arm. Like you better defend 50 yards down the field because he can throw it. I mean, he can throw it further than we've thrown it all year. He has got a cannon launcher. I mean, rocket launch arm. I mean, it's there. So arm strength is great. You know, if we have to put another guy in the game, we got to put another guy in the game, and that not exactly like the deepest in the country there right now. May have to get Coach Craddock loose.
I know Ty is in the portal. Does he have the option to return?
Yeah, our conversation was, hey, can I go into the portal, see what my options are, knowing what my option looks like here? He and I have already discussed what his likely option looks like back here. I'm not against him returning. I'm not begging him to stay if it's not right for him. He knows we're going to we got to bring in at least 2 other guys. Like, we need 2 other quarterbacks for sure. Maybe 3. So, and he knows that he'd have to fight for that job. And we've talked about, hey, if it's not your job at quarterback, then we would like to grow using you in a lot of different ways because he's such a talented young man. Athletically, he's gifted. Nothing's off the table. You know, he's handled this tremendously. And Coach, do you mind me doing this so I can look at what could be out there? Because if he's in the portal and somebody wants to say, hey, you're coming and you're our starting quarterback. Now, whether that's the truth or not, I don't know. Like, I would never promise somebody a starting job in recruiting because you got to, what if they show up and don't practice? You got to start them? So you have to earn it. But if he goes to a place, if there's a school that's like, man, we have this vision for you being the starter and here's what it looks like and it fits better, I want him to be able to look at all his options. This is why the portal's good, is for these things, because I want every guy in our program to have the right fit. And I think if it's here, I would love for it to be here. If it's not, if there's a better fit for him to grow and develop, and okay, I'm happy for him to find that. And so we'll see. Well, right now we clearly need quarterbacks in the portal. We need receivers in the portal. I need a couple more O-linemen in the portal. This is an advertisement. I need a couple D linemen, a couple edge rushers, and some guys that can cover receivers, some DBs. So y'all put that wanted ads. Gary, I don't know if they have the wanted ads anymore in the newspaper. If they do, wanted 2 quarterbacks, 2 fast receivers, 2 O-linemen, 2 D linemen, 2 edge rushers, 2 more cover guys.
That'll go right next to the movie listings.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I sound like on the 12th day of Christmas, you know, like, yeah. That's what I need. I need all that. So for next year's team to have a chance to win. So if y'all got any help that you can recruit with, let's have at it.
So Arizona State's coach mentioned, with them being in the playoffs, hey, guys can enter the portal for us. We just ask that they continue to practice and continue to give effort. And but we want them to still be a part of this journey, but we don't want to take away from them being able to look at their options. Do you feel like that's kind of a way that it has to be in order for the portal to work out for you, or to have enough players for bowl games, things of that nature?
Yeah, it's case by case. You know, like if a guy's like, hey, I don't want to come to practice, well then you're not going to the bowl game. If a guy's, you know, there's a right way, a wrong way for you to play in the game still. So every guy's conversation is a little different. Hey, if it's, hey, I want to go in the portal, this is why, X, Y, and Z, and we're all aligned. Love to. We got plenty of guys that are going to transfer after this game. They're going to play in the game or be a part of the trip because this year's team has earned that reward, and I want them to have the positive experience of being on the trip and getting to go to Tampa and enjoy. Monday, I think, is Busch Gardens, and Tuesday something else, and they got an agenda. I want them to have the opportunity to do that. But at the same time, I'm not going to hey, I really want you to come, but coach, I'm not jumping to practice. Well, then you're not going. There's parameters to everything, and it's case by case. You know what I mean? Everybody's case by case. We got walk-ons that are going to the portal because they're like, hey, I want to go somewhere I could probably play. Well, heck yeah, man, I want you to play too. And if it's not looking like you're going to break through that, ceiling here to play, then I'll help you. I'll make phone calls for you. I'll take phone calls. If you've worked your butt off on this team and you're just not able to get on the field because you can't break into the lineup, I will call anybody I can if it's the right fit to help a guy on this team. It's my job. It's my responsibility to serve the player. I'm here to serve the player.
You mentioned wanting to bring in a couple quarterbacks from the wanted ad for all those positions. When it comes to the QB, what's that evaluation process been like of who's in the portal, and when are you hoping to kind of bring those guys in by? What's the timeline for that? Yeah,
we've had some guys already here visiting. I mean, it's been like every day somebody's showing up, sometimes unannounced. It's just like a guy shows up maybe. There's a lot of interest in the spot. You've got a team that's been in 3 straight conference championship games. All right. Last 2 quarterbacks, one's in the NFL with the Bucs, and the other one I think was just coveted and got compensated really well. So the role here to be the starting quarterback it's a popular role. What's tricky for us is we probably have to go out and find 2 guys, hopefully, that have played some level of college football and taken a snap. We're not looking for 2 high school freshmen that hey, get you here and see if it works out next year. We won't win very many games probably unless we get like a special guy. And so we have to find probably 2 guys that have at some point probably started a college game or 2 that are willing to come here and, you know, have a shot to be our starting quarterback. And then probably another guy that maybe hadn't started but has taken a snap before in a college game, just so we have guys that have, can function. You know, if you got Kellen Tasby on the roster still, Kellen's got athletic traits. He's a very young player. You know, when we signed Jay Beeman, really big arm. He's still at high school. He hadn't sat in a football meeting or gone to practice yet. So we got to get some experience in the roster that allows the team to have success.
Talking about sacking their ability, Gerald Chapman being their defensive line coach, is there a dance there of perhaps advantages and disadvantages of the players, maybe knowing some nuances and then him knowing a little more about them?
Yeah, he knows more about us than we do. Maybe it's different because he's got different players. It's a different scheme than what he ran here that they're running there on defense. We're different offensively. We're similar defensively to what they were. I like Gerald a lot. You know, Gerald came back last year came back, then left again. He's a really good football coach. He'll do a great job. He's done a great job with that defensive line. Those guys are playing really good. A lot of respect for him. He probably knows more about us. Probably helps him a little more to know, okay, this is this offensive lineman's strength or weakness or whatever. Then it probably, me knowing Gerald, I know he's a good football coach, but doesn't help me know what they're doing there as much or what their people are.
Isn't there maybe a little advantage of not having perhaps as much tape on Ty Thompson and knowing a little bit about that?
There's plenty of unknowns for them on that, and there's some for us too. so we'll see. But yeah, I'm excited about watching Ty play, and I believe in him. I think he's a great kid. I genuinely mean this. I'm very excited about watching him play.